Hello, YouTube family. So today I really wanted to create space to tap into the frequency of love. And why this is coming up right now is because so many of you have been leaving comments that have to do with how can I actually feel the presence of source? How can I actually feel the energy, the frequency of God in my life? Hello, Instagram family. I'm on YouTube live as well, so pick your platform. So Source really wants to talk about how to connect to this consciousness, this vibration, this highest essence that is source but that we would experience as love. And so, what's really interesting is this frequency of source and spirit is surrounding us at all times. It's infinite, it's inexhaustible, it's the air that we breathe, it's the spirit that animates our being. We are never separate from source. But why is it that so many of us don't feel the loving presence of God's source in our experiences consistently? And so I'm having this conversation with source, and the most simple, because everything that's true is always so simple, the most simple but beautiful transmission flowed through. And the truth is that it's never that source is not loving us, it's that we are not loving ourselves. Now let us expand on this more. Source is a frequency. It's similar to a radio station, and you would tune into that frequency and then be able to experience that energy being broadcasted to you. If you're on a different frequency, you don't perceive that frequency. Okay? So God is a frequency. Love is a frequency. If I'm in a lower frequency, and this lower frequency usually has to do with I'm judging myself. I don't believe myself to be lovable. I don't believe myself to be worthy of good things. So here's the hack. When we shift our attitude and our relationship with ourselves, we organically shift into the vibration and the perspective that source has about us, and we experience love. So we think that it's source is loving me, and it is, but it's you loving you, because what is source? Source is you. We are source. We are God. It's just that what we're calling source and God is the highest point in consciousness. We're not always at that highest point in consciousness as humans. So that's when we experience the separation and we say, well, where is source? Where is God? I don't feel it. I definitely don't see it in my bank account. I don't feel it in this relationship that I have with this person. I don't see it in the world, right? I see people treating each other poorly, or wars are going on, and all these different things. So where is God? Where is love? How could this be true, that this energy is not only within me, but around me all the time? Well, you have to attune yourself. You have to consistently practice a vibration of letting love in. Source is calling this let love in. Can you feel us right now as you are acclimating to the truth of how things actually work? You begin to feel yourself come into resonance with us. So here's the good news. We're always with you. The question is, are you perceiving us? Are you translating us into your reality or not, based on your own frequency that is creating a version of reality wherein you experience us as being separate? So how are we all going to start letting more love in? What is the negative self-talk that I'm entertaining right now? I know that source doesn't feel this way about me, and you just have to take our word for this, on this particular topic. Source doesn't feel this way about me. Source loves me unconditionally. Source thinks I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Source thinks I am the most divine creation full of possibility and potential and magnificence and brilliance and intelligence. See how these words that we're using, we're attuning you. That's how source feels about me. So when I don't feel that about myself, about my situation, about whatever's unfolding on my path, then I'm not going to feel source. I'm just not going to feel source because source is a different frequency. Am I willing to do the work required to attune myself to that reality? And maybe you see people like me talking about my relationship with source and how much I love source, or you see these other people who seem to have this connection and you're wondering, well, why am I not experiencing that? I want that for myself. And we're here to tell you that it exists right here, right now. Source has never left your side. It would actually be impossible because source is the very air, ether, energy that you breathe in, that animates your being. It's only you creating the separation. Okay? So the idea that you are not, this is good, the idea that you are not who you really are based on particular circumstances and conditions right now is what creates this separation. So let's ground this and bring this down to earth, make it very practical. What are situations in your life right now that you feel make you unlovable? Because source is looking at all of this and going, oh, we already figured out the solution. Oh, we still love you anyway. Anyways, we know how magnificent you are. We're not even phased. We're not even budging. We're not even moving or being moved in a negative direction based on anything that you're creating out of a state of unawareness. You see, source, our ego is going to try to come in and say, well, you are bad. You are bad and you are wrong because you did this, or you're not doing this, or you haven't accumulated this, or you haven't accomplished this, or you haven't reached this level of consciousness. That's just our ego, right? Someone says I'm unemployed. Very human condition. So I must not be lovable. But source looks at all those conditions and goes, one, I love you anyways. Two, I understand that you've only created that from a state of unawareness. That's it. No judgment, no being conditional, no condemnation, no damnation, no indoctrination. Just simply, source wants to do the thing that helps you remember who you are. That's it. That's the truth. So these situations that are challenging your sense of worth, how you're going to start expanding into higher consciousness and higher awareness of who you really are, is asking the question, is this perspective coming from source all that is, that loves me beyond my own comprehension, wants the best for me? Or is it something that I'm entertaining because I'm attached to the belief that I must be something or have something before I can receive or feel love? Right? Someone says I'm experiencing lack. And this is really interesting because even for us in the spiritual community, right, you would think that we would all be experiencing all this love all the time. But the truth is that it's almost like a double layer of judgment. Well, because I'm spiritually awakened, then I feel that much more guilt or shame because I'm not experiencing something higher than the emotion that I'm actually creating for myself right now. And then it becomes this layered like judgment and performance ish behavior. Okay. Source doesn't need any of us to perform. Source doesn't need anything from us. Now let's dive into that a little bit. Why is it that source doesn't require anything of you to love you? Well, because source is existing in what I like to call absolute reality or absolute truth. Source is not, source is perceiving the illusion, understand that we are living in the illusion. We are living in a holographic projection of consciousness where we have free will to create things, but source still maintains the truth and the ultimate reality of how things actually work. So when you were believing something negative about yourself, although source was perceiving that with you, source was also holding the truth about who you are. And I want to explain free will. And source wants to come through in like more of a trance format right now. Yes, this is all that is, was, and ever shall be. The infinite presence that surrounds you at all times. We are just a frequency away, a thought away, a vibration away, a feeling away. If you want to sync up with us, then you got to feel really good because we exist within the realms of eternal truth, where the question of your being has never been the case for us. And that's our role, that's our job, to hold the truth of who you are as you go forth into experience and explore various dimensions and realms of consciousness. And we hold this highest vantage point where we always know the truth of your being. And so, what is unconditional love? What is it really? Some of you think that unconditional love is Source is going to save me, or why hasn't Source saved our planet? Why does Source allow these things to happen? Why does Source allow me to feel bad? Well, unconditional love is truly free will. If we save you, if we rescue you, if we thwart your own will that you have set forth for your experience, then that would be conditional, and we are not conditional. You see, the highest love is actually that we allow you to experience whatever you have chosen for yourself. Think about, and for those of you who are parents, you may be able to resonate with this. Think about your children and wanting to protect them, wanting them to have the best of everything, but also understanding that they have this independence and that they need to be exposed to reality. They need to make mistakes. They need to stumble. They need to experience failure. They need to have an authentic journey of this is what being alive is all about. And if we were to take that away, that experience away, we would actually be taking away all of the things that give them their esteem, their confidence, all of the opportunities that they have to know who they are and trust who they are and decide for themselves and watch the ripple effect of them coming into knowingness as they explore this reality. Would we want to take that away from a child? No. And so does Source want to take that away from you? No. Source's unconditional oath of love is that you get to decide, you get to choose. Even if it's happening on an unconscious level until you become conscious, because before you become self-aware within the game. But the gift is actually that I love you so much that I would allow you to choose something that's less than what you really are. I love you so much that I will allow you to explore duality. I love you so much that I will allow you to explore the contrast, the polarity, the opposite of who you are eternally. Because to force is not to grant the opportunity to know. You see, when someone or something imposes will onto you, you cannot truly know for yourself. So you can look at all these things you created in your life. And instead of thinking, Source must not love me because Source is not saving me, you go, oh, wow, Source loves me so much that I even got the opportunity to create this mess and get myself out of it, become a master from it, and come back into the truth of who I am. Source loves me that much that I get to create whatever I want, be it good or bad. So we have all these religious programs that run in the collective psyche. The one that I'm hearing is like, God is jealous and God is vengeful and all these things. And those are the foundational programs that shape our relationship with Source. Believing that Source is wanting us to be performative, and maybe you're having that realization right now. I've been trying to perform for God, who actually never needed anything from me. And so now we're just in this collective loop and cycle of trying to be good enough and shaming ourselves when we feel like we don't meet this invisible expectation or standard or requirement. But Source never said any of this. Truly, Source never needed this from us. The best thing you can do for yourself right now is to love yourself unconditionally. What does it mean to be unconditional? Let's break this down. It means that a particular condition is not required for me to recognize my worth, my beauty, my value, my brilliance, the eternity of who I am within creation and existence itself. Doesn't matter how much is in my bank. It doesn't matter if I just got fired. It doesn't matter if I just got dumped by somebody. It doesn't matter if I just got evicted. It doesn't matter if I haven't hit my goals and milestones. I am deciding, I am declaring, I am making this declaration within the highest frequency of I am, that I will no longer entertain a conditional relationship with myself. Someone says they just went to jail. Well, it's good to see that you are out. Welcome. So, how are we going to maintain this state of unconditionality? That's exactly the frequency. Well, I just got out of jail. That was a fun ride. Learned a lot from that. Oh, learned how much I value my freedom. Learned that that's not a place that I want to be. No guilt, no judgment. Just that was an interesting part of the ride. And this relationship with ourself governs our relationship with all of the other things that we magnetize, right? Because we are these electromagnetic beings, and we pull things into our personal gravitational force field. You are your own gravitational force field. These conditions and circumstances that we're magnetizing into our personal force field are reflections of the relationship we have with ourselves. If I'm unconditional with myself, that means I'm vibrating in the highest frequency of love. That means that everything that comes to me will be a byproduct of the love that I hold and have for myself. The people I'm in relationships with, romantically or via business or at work or whatever, or friendships or family, they're going to start to acclimate to the frequency that is the standard within my own relationship with me. I don't talk to myself that way. So I'm definitely not going to attract someone who talks to me that way. I don't look at myself that way. I'm definitely not going to attract someone to me that looks at me that way. What are the things that have been happening and popping up? It's just showing you where you haven't been unconditional with yourself. The attitude, the dominant vibration that you've been operating within your relationship with you. So let's challenge this. I want people to share in the comments if you feel comfortable, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. Like, what are some of these things that you are hearing in your head, or some of these things that you're feeling in terms of shame? The things that create shame are usually the things that show us where we're entertaining an illusion, where we're entertaining an untruth. How do we truly know we are loving ourselves? Well, you will feel it. It's a vibration. So when we're shifting vibrations, what happens is every atom, particle, molecule, cell within our being literally vibrates higher, which is actually vibrating faster. It's the cells of your being, the atoms of your being are, and your physicality are vibrating literally faster. And that faster vibration, that speed, right? We start approaching the speed of light, which is love, and we feel the illumination take place. We feel the joy, the abundance, the excitement, the enthusiasm. We come into union with God, which is a frequency. This is why we say source is a frequency away. Source is only a thought away. When I'm in alignment with source and truth in the way that source perceives whatever I'm looking at, I will feel the upliftment in my emotional state of being. I will feel my entire body vibrate faster. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so let's explore some of these things. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me get caught up here. I'm perceiving that I'm slower and weaker than others because I have an autoimmune problem. Okay. This word problem, I have an autoimmune problem. Okay. The frequency, the vibration of a problem is very different than the vibration of well-being or the vibration of a solution. So what we're inviting you, dear one, to begin saying is, I have an autoimmune opportunity, because that is what it is. It is an opportunity to remember who you are beyond this illusory condition of being ill or sick. Right? I'm ill, I'm sick, I'm not well. That means I'm lesser, or the word that comes through here is inadequate, right? I'm inadequate. Why is my body not functioning at the highest level um, of health as so many other people are? And so that makes me feel shame. That makes me feel inadequate. That makes me feel not good enough. Why is my body not working? These are just the thoughts we're tuning in for you. Why is my body not working? What the ego is saying, what the ego is saying. This is your highest opportunity to remember. You're going to love this. This is coming in hot from your higher self. This is your opportunity to remember that you are not the body. You've never been the body. You've never been the body. And we're going to let you sit with that. And as you come into that resonance with the truth of what's happening, the shame dissipates. The shame disappears. The shame is illuminated by the truth and light of who you are. Joelle says, I keep viewing myself as a target for people who mean me harm. It also affects my need for validation from others because that makes me feel safe. If you see yourself as a target, you will attract people who do mean you harm, because you see, these are vibrations. This is why I always say the victim is a vibrational match to the oppressor. A slave is a vibrational match to a master. They both have vibrational qualities that say, oh, I need you to coexist with and to co-create with. So they draw into each other's reality. I want to tune into this more for you, this feeling of being a target. What comes up is definitely something in your dynamic with your parents. And okay, I want to talk about this because so many people have experienced this, including me. When our parents point out our flaws or criticize us, or and maybe it's not even in a hyper negative way, but they're just pointing out things like, oh, you didn't take the trash out, or you didn't do the laundry, or why didn't you do this right, or how the innocent inner child interprets this is, I am being bad and I am doing wrong. I am being bad and I am doing wrong. And if we don't see that through a higher lens, we will attract people who keep reaffirming, I am being bad and I am doing wrong, right? That is the energy of being a target. Oh, I'm a target because people have identified a flaw, a weakness, or something within me that they get to criticize, manipulate, etc. Like this, the stories are infinite in terms of what we can create for ourselves as humans. So, how do we neutralize this vibration of feeling like a target? This is how you neutralize any vibration source is sharing. To neutralize a vibration, you ask yourself, what is the opposite of that? What is the opposite of being a target? Where everyone's attacking me, everyone's projecting onto me, everyone's out to get me. The opposite of that would be people see my value, they respect me, and they treat me really well. So, Joelle, this is what we want you to do. We want you to practice creating this new story where you say, people treat me really well. Just play around with it. And what's going to happen is you're going to start reprogramming your subconscious mind, and you're going to start attuning your nervous system for this new vibration, because you spoke about safety. It makes me feel safe when I get validation from people. Okay, well, how do we create that safety within our own being? We have to practice the vibration that makes us feel safe, but without needing anyone else to help us do that. People treat me really well. I mean, I go to restaurants and I just get seated at the best table, and I go to places and I get the best service. And then we want you, as this is shifting, we want you to start identifying it every time somebody treats you really well. Every time somebody treats you really well, we want you to take notice of it, because it's going to overpower and override the belief that people don't love me, people target me, people don't think I'm good enough, people think I'm inadequate. Someone holds the door open for you. Very simple. Wow, that person values, it could be my comfort as a woman or something like that. Look for reasons to start believing that this is true. You see, we can convince ourselves that anything is true. That's how much power we have. We are all writing the script and the rules within our own playbook of reality. What are the rules in your game? A rule that I have in my game is I never lose. I never lose. It doesn't matter what it looks like, what's happening. Nope. I never lose. And because I've created that rule in my game, what is reality? How does reality respond? Because reality doesn't have a mind of its own. Remember this. Reality does not have a mind of its own. You are the creator. You are the molder. You are shaping it. You are giving it form. You are giving it life. If I say I never lose in my game, because that's just the level I want to play at, reality says, you got it. If I say a rule in my game is that I only interact with other players in the game that respect me, that honor me, that are vibrating so high that they love themselves so much that, of course, they see the light within me, understanding that we are all one. Who are the other players that you wish to co-create with? And what is the energetic standard within your game from this point moving forward? When you start thinking like this, can you I feel so much energy. Can you feel how you start shining a light on all these areas in your life where you've been entertaining a victim story? Oh, the people at work don't like me. They treat me poorly. They think negatively of me. Oh, my partner thinks negative of me. They don't respect me. They don't love me. Oh, I'm in this friend group with people who act like they like me, but they really don't. And they talk about me behind my back, like all these different things. Okay, stop playing with those characters. Everyone else is just a background character. And this is not ego. But each and every one of us as a fractal of God's source, we are our own God. This is what the true definition of the multiverse is. It's that you are the center of your own universe. You are literally living in your own universal program within consciousness right now. What are the rules? What is the standard? Who do you want to co-create with? Who do you want to play with? Okay. Let's move on. I feel shame because I don't keep a consistent spiritual routine. I love how honest this is. You know that feeling when you haven't meditated for a few days and you're like, gosh, I haven't meditated for a few days. I'm getting off track, right? If I'm so spiritual, I should be meditating every day. You know, that's a form of attachment. We can still have attachment within the experience of identifying as a spiritual person. What Source is saying on this is, okay, here's an invitation for flexibility and freedom. If I don't have a desire to meditate right now, perhaps it's because Spirit is guiding me to use my time to do something else. And by the way, there's not one form of meditation. So the spiritual routine, Marie, um, what does your spiritual routine consist of? And understand that the actions or the tasks or like these things that you're only doing them for the purpose of maintaining a certain frequency. But if I'm doing other things and I'm still maintaining that frequency, is that not also still a part of my spiritual routine? We shame ourselves, and this is the perfect example of I'm believing something that Source is not believing, and that is why I do not feel love in this present moment. I'm perceiving something from a lower state of consciousness that Source is not in unison on. Doesn't it feel good when we say, you're free to do whatever you want? You want to meditate today as a means to finding your vibrational alignment? Or you want to do something else that is a means to finding your vibrational alignment? It's totally up to you. You feel that freedom? It's like, wow, Source is my best friend. Someone says, I'm holding shame because I'm not as far as I should be according to my age. A lot of people feel this. Thank you for your honesty. I want to address this in two different parts. Your perception of what is far enough is very different than your higher self's and Source's perspective on how far you've come. When we're looking at matrix, this is funny, matrix milestones. I love this. When we're looking at matrix milestones, and we're going, well, I don't have the house and I don't have the car and I don't have this label or title at work. I didn't save this amount in my 401k, whatever. I don't take 2 vacations with my family. I'm not married. Those are matrix milestones. And you know what your soul is saying? Your soul is saying, wow, you've accomplished so much vibrationally. You've accomplished so much in terms of what you set forth to come here to experience and learn. Are you operating from your ego or are you operating from your soul? Think about, I'm just going to be real about this. Think about how much shit all of us have been through as humans on this planet. Okay, we deal with a fuck ton of shit here. That's just the truth. It's a really dense place. If you're not in a higher frequency, it could be a really dense place. That's just what it is. You know how much strength, you know how much power. Okay, I feel the galactic council's coming in and they're going, everyone's doing this. You guys don't know how powerful you are. You don't know how amazing you are. You don't know how masterful you are to exist within lower density and still find ways to create joy and happiness and laughter for yourself. Those are the real accomplishments that you want to start taking note of. And you see, all of this is shifting the way you perceive yourself. Okay, maybe I don't have some of these other things, but I acknowledge and I recognize that I'm a good person with a good heart, with pure intentions and high integrity. And there have been so many things that I've experienced that could have pulled me down into a hateful, angry, vengeful vibration. But I still choose to wake up and operate in hope and love every single day. That's real mastery. Has nothing to do with age. So I want to delve into the second piece of this that I want to address with age and matrix milestones. When we're focusing on what we have yet to create, we activate this timeline of looping. We're living in a loop because the more I say I'm not enough and I'm not accomplished, I'm not successful, I just reinforce that vibration and I continue to create experiences that reinforce that I am unsuccessful. When we collapse time, how much time it would have taken you to accomplish all those things by this age, you could accomplish all of those things in 1 or 2 years when you remember that you are a quantum being. If I entertain the illusion of my age in the matrix and I allow that to create shame for myself, I don't access the 0 point present moment where I can simply start choosing who I want to be and where I want to go from this point forward. Does that make sense, guys? From this moment forward, if I shift my frequency, if I shift the way I feel about myself, if I start loving and liking myself in the way that Source does, what would I actually accomplish within 1 year, within 2 years, within 3 years? The example that Source is giving me right now is, you know how we say people are an overnight success, but really they've been spent. There's been years and years and years of them putting this effort and this work, and then until finally something happened. They reached some type of vibration, and usually it is giving up, which which grants this person access to this experience of being the overnight success. But because they give up, or they however they find a way to enter a new vibrational frequency, all this stuff they've been asking for years and years and years just starts pouring in. And the world will say, he or she is an overnight success. It's like they came out of nowhere. and they're so brilliant and they're so talented, and where have they been? Well, they've been around, but they've been telling themselves this story and creating obstacles and hurdles. So the age doesn't matter. Stop feeling bad about that. Someone says, I feel shame because I'm a single mom and I'm not worthy of finding my divine partner to accept me wholly. I'm assuming that's what you mean. And I think a lot of people, women especially, can relate to this. Okay. The condition of having a partner is not the evidence that you are loved or worthy. So this is what we're programmed to do in this reality. If I have certain things, that means other people will perceive me to be a certain way. This is exactly what you're doing, Tyra. You're going, well, because I don't have a partner and I'm a single mom, other people are looking at me and they must think there's something about her that's unlovable. There's something about her that is tainted, is the vibration that comes through, even with especially scanning the frequency of the single mom energy. Let's just be done with that. What if I'm not a single mom? I am a mom that currently has not yet my divine soulmate in, but the presence of source is with me. So I'm not single. Like this, there's so much shame with this single energy that I'm feeling into. It's like, well, it means that I was tainted, I wasn't good enough, someone didn't love me enough to stay. That's something else in your subconsciousness I'm feeling. So what is wrong with me? And maybe it's true. I didn't allow someone in yet, but I'm not single. Spirit and source and God is with me every single day, loving me, directing me to the information, the resources, the people that will help me come into remembrance of my worth, my beauty, and my value. We try to accumulate these things and get these things to have this matrix trophy. Look, everybody, I'm in a relationship. I'm not single. Look, everybody, I got this shiny thing. And this is actually something I experienced in the beginning of my pregnancy. It was quite interesting. There was like all of this shame that was coming up because I wasn't married, or my relationship unfolded very fast. And this is not typically something I would think, knowing me and my partner love each other unconditionally. We know the plans that we have for our life even before getting pregnant and all of that, but just feeling into the collective beliefs on these topics. And I started to feel shame. I started to feel shame that I was pregnant and I wasn't married yet and all these things. And then I just decided that it was a bunch of bullshit and I wasn't going to feel that way about myself. And I wasn't going to let matrix milestones dictate the way in which source is orchestrating my path. I wasn't going to let societal programs make me feel like the frequency of the love that I have with my partner is any less because it's happening this way, because of the timing. And I mean, the timing of everything was just so miraculous and beautiful and amazing. And it's like, well, why would you let these programs make you feel that way? Because we have matrix milestones, me included, these things, right, that we feel like that should be my standard. That represents my worth and my value if it looks like this. And oftentimes our higher self will organize an unfolding in a way that shocks and surprises you, because you need to be confronted with where you are conditional with yourself. All of this is tied into our theme today of learning how to be unconditional. And so sitting with the condition of being pregnant and not being married and tuning into the collective projection of what that means, I had to choose to be unconditional with myself. I had to choose to see the value in the love that I hold with my partner beyond the world saying or think. And no one, you know what's crazy? No one actually said this to me ever. But there are programs within the collective psyche that we can experience on our own journey, no matter how much work we've done on ourselves. So ultimately, what I would like to say to you, Tyra, is your value extends beyond the condition of you having a partner. And I want you to stop referring to yourself as a single mom. And one more thing is coming through. The belief that being a single mom is the reason why you haven't attracted your divine partner is the very thing that's creating this reality of I have not found the person yet. So this is what I want you to do. There are tons of men who would absolutely love and adore me and my children. There's someone who's looking for the exact frequency of what I bring to the table, including me having children. And that's a true thing. There are some men out here who would love to be with a woman with children because they want a family. We're just expanding you into the true infinite possibility of what exists and what's available for you. All of us have to stop entertaining shame. Shame, when we're in this vibration of shame, we don't allow the possibility to come in. Okay. Someone says, I hope that helps, Tyra. Let's see. I'm just getting caught up, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I believe that I'm not a functional adult. And because I don't agree with how the human world works, I don't care enough to engage with it. So it sounds like I have shame because I perceive reality differently than most people around me. And instead of choosing to see myself as the divine light worker, uplifting humanity that I am, I'm allowing the opinions of other people to make me think that I am not a functional adult, when really I am the next evolution of what an adult actually is within the human experience. I feel that I am failing at balancing as a wife and mom. I'm failing at being a homemaker. I'm just scanning the vibration of what's going on. I actually posted a reel today, or my team posted a reel today that has to do with this idea that there's one set way. There's like one way that a relationship should be, or one way that we should run our home, or one way that we should be a wife and have a family, or be a husband and have a family, when really there is not a specific way. The only thing that matters is, are you happy? And this is how Source perceives it. Are you happy? Meaning, if let's say there are some traditional themes associated with being a homemaker and a mom that just don't resonate with your being. For me, I'll give an example. I don't really cook. It's just not something that I do right now. I have phases in my life where I will cook, and then I have these stretches of time where I just don't cook. And I just don't cook because my brain is moving so fast and I have so many other things going on. I don't have time. And I probably could make the time, but something that I'm also not going to do is I'm not going to allow myself to feel negatively because that's not something that I do. Instead, I choose to look at all of the other amazing things that I do, all of the other amazing ways that I benefit my family. And when I really look at it, oh, it makes sense why you don't cook. You got a lot going on, girl. So, or like why you don't feel a need to create time for that. And that's what works for my lifestyle, my business, my household, and my family. Without shame, without believing that I'm not enough. We're all doing the best that we can to balance our unique circumstances. Source, this is for you, April. Source is inviting you to have a conversation with your partner and get clear on what works for you and why or why not. Because it even feels like you are assuming that your partner is looking at some of these things in a certain way, or even your kids, but you're putting that on yourself. So get clear on what roles do people have in the home, in the household. What's in vibrational resonance with you? What's in vibrational resonance with me? Okay, how do you need to operate and function? Okay, this is how I need to operate and function. Okay, good. We're on the same page. Happy medium. I feel so much shame about being broke and not being able to get my business moving. I quit my 9 to 5 years ago, but I just can't seem to get it together. I'm almost tempted to go back to it. A strong vibration comes through for you, and it's the condition of being a failure. That's just like the dominant frequency. Well, this is how the story goes. I'm a failure because I left my 9 to 5. Why would I do that? Why would I leave that comfort and security and stability? And the business that I started hasn't even taken off. And the ideas and limitations that other people projected on me are actually happening in real time. So I did fail. I proved them right, right? I proved them right. I'm so ashamed that I'm not making any money right now. The interesting thing about this is the more we feel shame about that, the more we can't let the success and the clients and the money in. You see, the version of you that would be thriving. So remember what we said. If you want to illuminate anything or neutralize a frequency, you ask yourself, well, what is the opposite of that? What is the opposite of feeling shameful regarding your financial situation and your business? It's I'm thriving. I'm abundant. Clients are coming in. People are booking with me left and right. I feel whole and complete. You can tap into that vibration, the feeling of that as a condition in reality before you actually see it. And in fact, that's what you're going to need to do to shift the energy around what's been happening for so long. There's like a momentum. There's a rhythm you've created of this is not happening. This is not working. I feel so much shame. And when we're in that, especially with business, people can feel when a business is doing really well, and they can feel when a business is not doing so well. And um, why would any one of us want to purchase something or work with someone that's not in its highest state of being? So people not coming in, money not flowing in, sales not flowing in, is just showing you where you need to refine how you feel about yourself and whatever it is that you're offering. If I don't feel good about what I'm offering, no one's going to buy that, because I'm vibrating that it's not a good thing. So this is what we want you to do on a practical level. Shift the way you feel about your business. And by the way, this has nothing to do with money. This is how you're going to get out of this loop. Okay, maybe I haven't made a dime from this business, but what is it that I'm putting out into the world? What is it that I felt so much conviction about? I even left my job. I felt so much conviction about this. What is the problem that you're solving for people? What is the solution that you're packaging? If you have pride in that, if you remember the reason in your heart, and you allow that to be enough, regardless of how much money you've made, that's the vibration people will pick up on from you, and you will shift into a timeline where the business is now operating differently. I want to go into this because I think a lot of people feel this about their financial situation, and it creates shame. What is real wealth? I want you to ask yourself, everybody, what is real wealth? Do you associate or attach your wealth, your inner wealth, to a financial condition? Or do you feel the inherent wealth in your being regardless? On my journey and path of creating financial abundance, something that I had to really do in the early years is I had to ignore the financial condition of having money or not having money. Because here's the thing: when I have money, if that's what's going to make me feel good, then I'm always going to be on a sort of puppet string. When I have money, I feel good about myself. But when I don't have money, I'm not going to feel good about myself. And I'm just going to be in this back and forth conditional relationship with myself. The attitude needs to be, I'm choosing a frequency of wealth regardless, because I understand that my value as a soul, my value as a person has nothing to do with the condition of me having money in the matrix. Who cares? Source doesn't care. You broke, rich, poor, like whatever. Source literally doesn't care. Only sees your value. You can choose the vibration of wealth, the state of being of wealth, even if you are not yet seeing wealth. And by the way, that's how you will become a frequency match to wealth. Do I know my value beyond my financial circumstances and conditions? You want to get to a point where you could wake up in the morning and have, let's even say, a negative bank balance, and you go, I'm still the shit and source still loves me. You know why that's so important? That means you no longer live in the matrix, ladies and gentlemen. When you live in the matrix, the way you feel about yourself is based on conditions. When you don't live in the matrix, you step into the neutral observer and you say, oh, I just created a temporary reality, but I'm still the creator. I still have value. I still have worth. In fact, I'm so masterful that somehow I managed to create a false reality where I don't have money when my soul is eternally abundant. You can trick yourself into believing anything, 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 and thus become a vibrational match to anything that you choose. You want to wake up in the morning and you want to feel like $1,000,000. You don't have to have $1,000,000 to feel like $1,000,000. Where do you think that term came from? I feel like $1,000,000 right now. It's the frequency of it without needing the condition of it. But when we activate the frequency of it, we attract the condition of it. So the key to manifesting anything in your life is to first be unconditional with yourself. Okay. I think we're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it on unconditional love for ourselves. I really want to challenge everybody here on YouTube, on Instagram, to look at all these conditions, all these matrix milestones you think you haven't met yet, and love yourself any damn ways. Love yourself still. Keep loving yourself. Keep loving yourself. Keep loving yourself until that vibration of love imprints a frequency so strong on your reality that reality has no choice but to show you that you are loved, and instantaneously reorganize itself to present a new picture, a new holographic picture. Love is the only real truth. Love is dominant even when you don't feel it, and love is all around you right now. And before we go, I just want to help amplify this feeling, this presence of source right now. It's so strong. Allowing your heart to open, soften, feeling the truth of your being, the knowingness in your soul right now, reawaken. Imprinting this frequency of love on every cell in your body, reprogramming your cells for unconditionality. Pure goodness is what Source is calling it. You are all just pure goodness. You don't even know how good you are, how pure you are, how holy you are. Holy meaning complete. And so it is uttered, and so it is done. Much love, guys.